Good afternoon. Welcome to Frugal. I'm delighted that you're here. Thanks so much for watching. This is a channel about living a frugal yet also full life. So today I was going to have a chat to you about the idea of the one in and one out rule. This is in my mind today because, oh, and also happy Thrifty Tuesday. So this is in my mind because today it's a bit of a novelty to actually be going out and about because I'm still in my recovery process at this point. But today is going to be a bit special. A friend's coming over and we're going to have a wee trip out to, drumroll, IKEA. I know, riveting stuff, Lara. How exciting. IKEA, not. No. Actually, it's become a wee bit of a tradition of ours. Every few months or so, we pop over to IKEA. So they're inspired by the furniture, and I'm inspired by ideas about how to store things and reduce clutter and kind of creative tools that they have for storage hacks and solutions. And also they do have some practical items that are of good quality. So as I say, today's theme is one in, one out rule. And the reason being is, now where is it? I found it. Found it. It is, now I got this from IKEA. I think it was in the late 90s in Scotland our IKEA opened, and I remember there were big queues, apparently big queues to go in, and I remember there was a lot of hype about it, and I went quite early on and I bought this IKEA. There's a little IKEA, I don't know if that's showing up. Let's see, yeah. So this is from way back in the day. So it must be, I reckon it's 20 plus years old. And it's got to the point now where it doesn't work very well. And it's not just that it's more blunt. I think it's just not doing the job like it used to. And it's also all, I don't know if you can see, it's all kind of yucky under there and no amount of cleaning. It's just starting to wear. So the time has come. This is what's on my list for if you haven't seen my video related to the no spend year, my first video of the no spend year playlist, where I talk about the different rules and the different tactics and strategies I'm going to have for doing a no spend year this year. I mention in that sinking funds. And one of my monthly sinking funds is going to be, or is, I should say, it's started, is that I put money in a stock up or items needed fund. And the items needed for that fund, it's a very finite list of things, and they're all practical things, and I've given it thought in advance, so I'm not just adding anything onto it during the year. It's got to be things that I really have identified I need. So this makes the list. So I had ordered some left-handed scissors that never came, and now I'm getting to the point, hopefully it won't be too much longer, that I would need them. So I was refunded, which was really kind of the seller. They refunded me because they never showed up, these scissors. So I've got a little extra in the kitty this month, so I definitely have enough to get a replacement vegetable peeler. So that will be my exciting purchase today. And I've just had a big bowl of porridge and banana, so that when we go for food, I won't be that hungry, and I'll just have something very small and light, maybe a bowl of chips or soup or something, or a sandwich, just something very light. And that will keep the costs way down. But I do have again, back to the video, I highly recommend if you're wondering about how a no spend year works and stuff. So plus there's loads of other great things out there on YouTube where you can learn too. There are some brilliant channels out there. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh, oh yeah, I've got a small social budget each month, £10. And because I'm effectively housebound at the moment because of the broken arm, I've been out once for a walk. And apart from that, it's been literally just the hospital visits and if friends have come over who drive and we've gone for a wee drive or that kind of thing. So all I've spent socially is money for biscuits, I think. I think that's it for this month. So yeah, so there's a little bit of leeway if I was to have a bit of lunch today. That's within an allocated fund. So back to the 1 in, 1 out rule. I'm talking about it as far as kitchen items, and it is very practical as far as kitchen items because it's unbelievable how fast kitchen clutter can build up, and it's unbelievable how easy it is to justify it to ourselves. Oh, but it's something practical, it could come in handy. Or gadgets, you get all kinds of kitchen gadgets that people could go, oh yeah, and there's no judgment here at all. Like I totally, for me, I like terrines, as you can see. As you can see, I like terrines. And then I think it was in December, I ended up picking up that terrine as well. So really, in theory, you could say I should be doing 1 in, 1 out rule for my terrine. However, they can break, so I will allow myself one backup. But I mean, I do have a space to put it at the moment, but as you can see, I really need to get this kitchen done, and it's one of my big things I'm working towards. I don't know whether my no spend year goal funds, which are partly for flat decorating, I don't know if they would be anywhere near enough to get the kitchen done properly, but even just cosmetically to give it a freshen up in the meantime, just to redecorate, maybe to get it plastered and painted for the walls, I don't know, or the electrics, I'm not sure. But I'll just show you. Now, I had a bit of a thing in 2020 where it was awful actually, because what happened is the cupboards fell off the wall. It was about 6 o'clock in the morning and that row of cupboards up there fell down, almost crushed my poor boy Darren. I used to have a greyhound called Darren. He was wonderful. He passed away a couple of years ago, coming up for 3 years in autumn, he passed away. He was just very elderly boy by that point. He was a beautiful soul, he really was. But thankfully, he was a greyhound, so thankfully he still had the fast reflexes and he zoomed off. So he was injury free, which was really all I cared about, was that he was okay. And he was priceless, that little guy, or big guy. So anyway, yeah, about 90% of the stuff in those cupboards smashed, sadly, which was really disappointing. But you know, thankfully I had a few spare things, which really made a big difference. So I didn't really have to replace very much, which was a godsend. But anyway, the reason I mention about these cupboards is at the moment I'm lacking in storage space in the kitchen. So I haven't done a proper assessment at this point as far as 1 in, 1 out is concerned. Once I eventually get the kitchen done, I'll know exactly where I stand as far as storage space and what I can keep and what I'm going to declutter. And then, yeah, certainly the 1 in, 1 out rule will apply. It's a really great way to try and reduce clutter. It means that you can make sure, like what happened with me, the story for me is during the lockdown in 2020, I was still working, but when I had my free time, I really went to town with decluttering, big time, especially my wardrobe. I decluttered a lot of clothes, and I've reached a point now where I do rotate summer. I rotate the summer, like spring, summer, and autumn, winter things I rotate. But other than that, everything, it has a, so the autumn, so whenever it's like the opposite to seasons, I store some things in some vacuum seal bags, but they fit perfectly into their allocated bit of the wardrobe when it comes to swapping the things over. I'm talking here really tops and t-shirts. Tops are t-shirts, sorry. Tops, knitwear, like smart tops, t-shirts, knitwear, that kind of thing. So that they're seasonal. But yeah, so whichever, long story short, whichever season, pair of seasons is in the wardrobe, it fits, and there's room, it's comfortably room, and there's room, a bit of wiggle room. You know, I don't want to have things bursting out of the wardrobe. It's just not a pleasant experience for getting dressed in the morning. So then what I do now is, if I won't be buying things in the charity shop this year unless it's during my one trip away where I have an allocated spending budget per day. Again, see the no spend year first video, and I'll talk about that sinking fund. So if, yeah, on that occasion, I could potentially, or with birthday money, if I got money from my birthday, spending money, you know, if I chose to buy some clothes in the charity shop, fair enough. And ordinarily, if I end up going to the swap shop this year, I've got to fund the travel there through my another sinking fund, which is my day trips fund. But I'm not sure if I would do that. But anyway, the swap shop is in a previous video. There is, if you look back at some past videos, there's one that's to do with swap shops as an alternative to buying clothes. So in that, I take you with me to the swap shop to show you the idea of it and what I picked up. And so anyway, ordinarily, most of my clothes, 99% of the time, my clothes come from the charity shop or something like a car boot sale or sort of vintage secondhand fair, or the swap shop, or the bartering page. That's in a past video as well. There's a few videos building up now, aren't there? So anyway, yeah, usually that's how I would acquire things, but it's also partly how I would then let go of things. So if there's new things coming in, these days they've got to be things I really want to bring in. There's got to be a really good reason to bring them in, because I know that I'm going to have to let something go to create the space. So it's this one in, one out rule, as I say. And that keeps things in order. It stops chaos from starting, where things are crammed in and then they get damaged, or things are spilling out and then they could get damaged, and it just creates clutter in my mind as well as my space, and I don't want that. So yeah, charity shops, the swap shops, these are ways that I could let go. If I let go via the swap shop, I gain points, and then in the future I could use those points to pick something up. Also, if it's the charity shop, sometimes you can get wee stamps on a points card for one of our charity shops, which is called the Salvation Army. So that's quite a great incentive, because you can build up the stamps, and once the stamps fill a card, I think also you can get the opposite side stamped if you spend over a certain amount. So that won't be happening at the moment, but and if it does, it's got to be for a really good reason. Like if I go charity shopping, not this year, but in general these days, I've got to have in the back of my mind, or maybe not at the back, further forward would be better, but in my mind somewhere in this noggin, there has to be a sense of things I actually need. So, and if it was something that I just absolutely loved and it's something that's not a need, again, I have to be very willing and think, okay, I know there's something equivalent I'll let go of. So, but it's a good incentive, this points thing, to give, when they fill up, when the card on either side fills up, you get credit to spend to use in the, I don't mean credit like a credit card, but there's an actual value for the stamps. I think it's £5 or something like that. So you can then actually spend that off of the card in the shop, which is good. And again, if I know there are practical things I need, I'll always keep a lookout in a charity shop, because they sell bric-a-brac, they sell household items, they sell storage items, they sell all kinds of things. So I can go to a place like IKEA, get some kind of inspiration, and then see things like that for sale secondhand in the charity shops. These are the kind of things that I do. It's all like just a habit and a way that I shop in general. But having said that, even though charity shops are bargainous, buying something unnecessary is still money being spent that wouldn't have been being spent. So I've got rules around that now, and even more rules around it this year, where it just ain't happening, apart from, as I say, if I'm away on a holiday and I have the funds, or I have some kind of birthday money or Christmas money or something like that. But I have none of that from last year left now. It's all spent, as I will talk about in a future video. We're here! Delicious lunch! Hi! So, mission accomplished. I managed to get the vegetable peeler. So, thank you very much for watching this video about the 1 in, 1 out rule for decluttering and frugal living. I hope that you enjoyed it, and sending you very best wishes from a very wet and windy, stormy Scotland. I hope wherever you are that the conditions are okay. Stay warm, stay safe, take care. Bye.